This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. And today we're going to discuss a subject matter in which kosher clinician on the left was having a conversation with El Guapo on the right. And these two men at this particular time was discussing female body counts and the psychological effects of a woman in body counts. But we're not going to speak on that particular subject. What we're going to speak on is a statement that the clinician made during his live stream, and I think it is a very important subject that we need to talk about. What the kosher clinician said was a hopeless man is a broken man. A hopeless man is a broken man. This is a very deep and passionate statement, a deep and passionate claim. But this claim is very personal to me. Let's talk about it. I was once this man. I was once a man who had to sit here and reflect back on my life. And while I've had many successes, I've had many failures. While I've created great paths for many people, I've also left a trail of destruction. And I'll never forget the time where I wanted to just end it all. My daughter had graduated from college, and I felt that at this moment, at this time, the purpose of my life had no more meaning. But I'm going to tell you, it is hard to get into that dark place and not know how to come out. But I want to talk about the road to sickness as well as the road to recovery. You know, let me tell you a little story. When I got out of the military, one of the things that I was taught being in the military was suck it up and drive on. And basically what that meant is whatever pain, frustration, anger, all of your emotions had to be suppressed, and you had to keep driving on for the mission. And they taught us so well that we maintained that mentality, or at least I maintained that mentality of suck it up and drive on. But when I got out of the military, they didn't teach me how to turn that off. So I maintained that mentality of suck it up and drive on. And no matter what I was going through in life, in my what we would call the civilian life, I had to continue to suck it up and drive on. But I'm going to tell you, sucking up and driving on in the civilian world where you're taking your feelings, your anger, your emotions, and you're constantly suppressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it, it can eventually lead to self-destruction. And it can eventually lead to you doing self-destructive behavior. But for me, it caused me to do a lot of microcosmic self-destructive behaviors. When you think about medicating pain and self-destructive behaviors, even in the midst of various successful things, the fact of the matter was I didn't realize at the time that I was suffering from a severe mental illness that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. You know, emotions, when you think about that word, emotions, it means energy in motion. It means that energy has to go somewhere. And the fact is, when you're not allowed, when I wasn't allowed to get those real emotions out, those real feelings out, those real anger issues out, that suck it up and drive on, which allowed me to survive military life, was literally killing me in my civilian life. But I'm also going to say that it got to the point in my life, without going into the graphics details right now, that I got to the point in my life where everything became dark. Everything just became lost. And as I reflected back on my life, I realized that at one point in my life, I said, you know what, this is it. I don't know really what to do. I say that to say this: even if men have never been in the military, I know that some of us has been given that suck it up and drive on mentality. Some of us has been given that boy don't you cry mentality. Some of us have been told not to deal with situations, just be the man and just handle it. But I'm going to tell you that sometimes we need help, my brothers, just like I needed help. And a lot of times we're crying out for help, but we really don't know where to get that help from. But I'm here to tell you today, we're going to talk about ways to recognize mental health, and that you, like me, may need help for things that's going on in your life. The road to recovery, it begins with the first step, recognizing that you do have a problem. So if you're feeling any signs of fear, or feeling sad or confused, or having a fear of worries, extreme mood changes, withdrawing from friends and family, being always tired, low of energy, detached from your own reality, or being paranoid, or having hallucinations. Maybe you have the inability to cope with problems. You just can't understand or relate to situations or people. You're starting to drink a lot, starting to use a whole lot of drugs. Maybe your eating habits have changed, whether that's you stop eating or you're beginning to overeat, or you're always having an extreme desire to have sex, always angry, everything gets you mad, or even worse, you're having thoughts of harming yourself. So if you need help, my brothers, contact the National Alliance of Mental Health, and they're there to help you. If it's extremely bad, dial 911. If you're having thoughts of suicide, or if you're a veteran, mostly if you're a veteran, you contact 1-800-7273-TALK. Again, that number is 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. Just remember this, my brothers. Even in darkness, there is still light at the end of all of this. So as the Bible tells me, we overcame by the blood and the word of our testimony. And if I could be anything to you, it is the living example that you can recover and you can come out of darkness and see the purity of the light. This is Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. Emancipate your mind. Peace.